Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. We are here with a very sensitive topic. Before we get started, I just want to make a disclaimer. This might be a pretty lengthy video. I'm going to try to not make it too long. So today we're going to be talking about my breastfeeding journey. I have breastfed all three of my kids. So Damien was breastfed for about a month and some change. And then Khaleesi was breastfed for 3 months. And then Adonis, I stopped breastfeeding him at a month and 2 weeks. So actually, no, he's 6 weeks right now. So I stopped breastfeeding him about a week ago. So about 5 weeks. I stopped breastfeeding him around 5 weeks. So I'm just gonna kind of give you guys my 2 cents, my experience. Breastfeeding is hard, and I feel like this is something that's not really talked about with a lot of people, and you're looked upon and frowned upon, and it's a shocking thing when you tell people like, I'm not breastfeeding my kid. It's kind of like there's a lot of mom shaming that goes on with this. So I'm probably going to disable the comments for this video. Not that I feel like you guys are going to mom shame me or anything, but just for anyone else that has these experiences and they like want to relate in the comments and stuff like that. I feel like I want this to just be a safe place for, like, you know, if you can relate, you can relate, and if you can't, you can't. And whether you breastfeed your baby for a year, 2 years, or whether you didn't get to breastfeed at all, I mean, it doesn't really matter how you feed your baby. Whether through a bottle, breast milk, canned milk, anything like that, you're a mom at the end of the day. And I just want to let that be known before we start this video. You are a superhero, and it's okay that you didn't breastfeed. You're not a less of a mother, you're not a bad mom. Your baby is going to love you regardless, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. As long as that baby's fed, that's all that matters. And that baby's gonna love you regardless. Like I said, the most that baby needs from you right now, that's very, very important, is the love, the cuddles, and all that good stuff. So I just want to make that very clear before we started this, because I had to give myself that pep talk. I was beating myself up for a good minute. I was crying, telling my husband like I felt like a failure because I stopped. But for those of you that have never breastfed, you wouldn't be able to relate. And for those of you that have breastfed, you know how hard it is. But everybody's journey is just different. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my basically testimony. All right, so with Adonis, starting out, he's been great from the jump with latching. It was never an issue at the hospital. He latched every time. My milk did not come in for a good, I'd say 4 days after I had him. So starting off, I already had a lot of anxiety. I was already stressed because in my head I was like, okay, I'm not making enough colostrum. He's not getting full. He's been a very cranky, fussy baby from day one. He just started to calm down now that he's on formula. He hasn't been so irritable. That's a good word. But anyways, let me not like fast forward. But yeah, so from the beginning, I've already had the pressure and stress of like, okay, Denise, you have to make sure something's coming out. My milk's taking too long to kick in. I started eating certain things to try to boost it up. And then when it finally came, it didn't come like I thought it was gonna come. Usually it comes full force. Both of my breasts were very full of milk, but when it was time to pump or time to release, it was like they weren't releasing as much. And I was like, okay, I have a good pump. I know how to do this. It's my 3rd time doing it. So it was more like I felt lost, you know? So I was trying to get Adonis to relieve as much pressure as he could, because as you guys know, once you have like engorged breasts, that it hurts so bad, like you can't even, I don't even know the word. It hurts really bad, and to the point to where like you can get a fever, a health issue can happen if you don't relieve the pressure and the tension of the milk. So yeah, he was latching fine, and then once I was able to get him to release all that pressure, then my pumping experience was perfect. I was able to finally start getting milk to pump out. I was able to start storing my milk. So right now my freezer, I'll probably insert a picture here. I only have one top part of my freezer door left in there full of breast milk. So it was really convenient. My production was kicking in, and I was like, whoo, 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 because I was like, okay, breakfast I was eating oatmeal and eggs with bread, and then I was drinking the Under Armour sports drink, and I was told that like helps kick up your milk supply because it has coconut water in it. So I was just pumping out milk left and right. He was feeding, I was pumping it. He was feeding this side, I was pumping this side, and I was like bag after bag after bag. And it got to the point to where me and my husband were like, okay, we don't have any more room to store this milk. Like, we can't just have the whole freezer full of milk. So I was like, okay, now that we have enough storage for at least like a month, let me just not pump so much so that I'm not just out here just wasting milk, you know, because it hurt my heart. Anybody that breastfeeds, you guys know, if you pump milk, you have to dump it down the sink. You're just like, oh my God, I worked so hard for that milk. And I just didn't want to do that. I felt really bad just wasting milk. So I was like, let me just not pump as much. And that's where the downfall happened. So once I wasn't having Adonis feeding more than he needed to, and I wasn't pumping after he was eating, it started to slow down my milk production. And Adonis also has eczema. So me, with my milk production, I was realizing that he was breaking out. I didn't know if it was because of, and he's breaking out bad. I'm gonna insert a picture here of what his head and neck looked like. It was so bad. His face, everything, his skin was peeling off. It was just so bad, and I was blaming myself because I'm like, maybe there's something in my milk that's causing his skin to break out like this. And then he was all of a sudden real gassy. Like every time he would eat, I'd burp him and there was just like throw up everywhere, throw up. He wouldn't keep anything down. So I went to the doctor and like, probably has colic, but they didn't give me anything for his colic. So they're kind of just like, well, now you just need to figure out what it is that you're eating that's causing his stomach to hurt. So then I had the pressure in my head of like, okay, I'm messing up something that's either messing up his skin, causing his stomach to hurt, and at the same time, I'm not making enough milk anymore because I stopped pumping. So I had all these things going on, and it was literally starting to like mess with my mental health. And it was to the point where I was like obsessing over breastfeeding. That's all I did all day, every day. Like I didn't have time to play with Khaleesi. I didn't have time to spend with my husband. I didn't even have time to sleep because when he was sleeping, I was like just trying to shower and just make time to just do anything besides being on mommy mode with him on my tits 24/7. And I feel like that was making my postpartum depression way worse than what it needed to be because I had no outlet to do anything else. I didn't have time to even make a YouTube video right now. Like right now, he's sound asleep. Look, I'm about to show y'all the video. He's right here, asleep. Oh, the glare. He's right here, knocked out. Oh, ow, that hurt my toe. Yeah, so he's over there, sound asleep right now in the room, and I'm able to do stuff. I'm able to work out, I'm able to shower, I'm able to play with Khaleesi, I'm able to fold my laundry, do laundry. Like, I have time to do stuff. And before, it was very, I don't know, like I said, I just feel like I was very pressured. It was a lot of, like, I just felt like a failure if I didn't do it. Like, if I didn't breastfeed past a month, even 3 months, that was my goal. I wanted to breastfeed Adonis for a whole year. I was like, oh my God, I got the LV breast pump. I can pump while I'm at work and blah, 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 blah. And it just, nothing that I had planned worked out the way that I wanted to, which I'm not upset because everything happens for a reason. I feel like I'm doing a lot better now that I'm not breastfeeding. He's happy, he's full, and he loves me the same amount. So I'm not really worried about it. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was affecting my mental health when I was breastfeeding, but now that I'm not, it is as well, because I did have mom guilt for a very long, it felt like a long time. It was probably only like a couple days or a week, but I felt so bad that I didn't breastfeed him because I was like, well, he's not getting all the other nutrients that all these other babies are getting. He's gonna be like slower when it comes to developing, like all these crazy things in my head that I'm just have heard from other people's experiences and that you see on the internet. And I'm just like, Dahniziac, your journey is your journey. Like, don't let the pressure of this world make you feel like you're less of a mom because you put your baby on formula. And honestly, you guys, you're probably gonna think this is crazy, but the first time I had to put him on formula, I cried. Like, I haven't even finished the breast milk that's in my fridge just because I don't know, once again, if that's what was causing his eczema to flare up. Like, I'm still on this borderline of confusion because I don't know. I really don't know what I'm gonna do with that milk. I'm too paranoid to give that to him. So yeah, I just started with formula and I cried in the shower. And I told my husband, I was like, I feel like I failed him. I feel like a bad mom. I feel like I quit, like I just gave up. I didn't even try. I feel like I could have tried harder. And that's something about me that I always get on, is I'm like, I know I could have done more. I know I could have done more, but it's okay. I don't want to start crying. It's okay that you're not able to do it. And it's okay if your baby doesn't latch. It's okay if you can't pump out enough milk. Like, it's okay. And I hate that the world makes us think just because we don't breastfeed, or just because we quit, or just because we stopped, we just threw in the towel and try to find the easy way out. It is hard, especially, I don't know how these moms on YouTube, I follow like a lot of mom channels that have 3 kids already and they're pregnant with their 4th, and they have their 4th baby and they breastfeed. I don't know how they do it. I have 1 toddler and I just feel like I have no time to do anything. Like Khaleesi terrorizes the house all day. We're picking up after her. She's crying because she needs food. She's crying because she needs attention. She's crying because she's teething. There's just so much chaos going on in my house 24/7, it feels, because of 1 toddler. So I can only imagine the pressure and the stress that a mom with 2 or 3 other kids would feel, and how it would affect their everyday life. And if you're a single mom, or even a mom with just 1 kid, if this is your first kid, it was so much more easier for me to breastfeed my son Damien because he was the only baby I had. The reason why I stopped breastfeeding him so early was because my depression kicked in strong and I was stressed out. I wasn't eating. It had nothing to do with him. It was more of like my past relationship. I didn't have any energy to eat. I didn't want to eat, and that of course slowed down my milk production, and I had to stop breastfeeding him. So I feel like also me stressing about not being able to breastfeed caused me not to be able to breastfeed, if that makes sense. I know it sounds crazy, but it's literally, that's how I feel. I feel like if I hadn't been stressing and I just lived my life, I spent every hour and every minute like, okay, what are you gonna eat next? What are you gonna do next about this? And how are we gonna pump? What time are we gonna pump? Is a breast pump charged? When he goes to sleep, we gotta make sure we're on it again. As soon as there's a letdown, you have to pump it out. Like everything. I couldn't even breathe. I was living, sleeping, breathing, breastfeeding. And honestly, I'm so glad I'm done. I'm so glad I'm done. It probably sounds so bad, but I'm so glad it's over. And I'm proud of myself because I did it. Whether it was for a day, whether it was for 2 days, it doesn't matter. The baby got the most important part, which is the colostrum. As long as that baby gets that within the first couple hours of its life, that's the most healthiest thing you can give the baby. Whatever you give it after that, of course, breast milk is more organic or natural and whatever. Milk is milk. Like I said before, who cares? Like, feed your baby, and that's all that matters. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I just want to get on here. You guys have asked about my breastfeeding experience, and I'm like, you know what? Your girl quit. But I'm not angry about it. I'm happy, and I'm at peace with myself, and I feel free. I know it sounds so crazy, but I feel like so liberated and just like I can do what I want. It's like I can leave to go to the store and I can leave Adonis with his dad, and I don't have to worry about, oh, I gotta get him to pump. Adonis can't eat without me there. That boy took the bottle so easily. I was so proud. At first he was kind of like, because he was like, this isn't your nipple. With me at least. When his dad would feed him, he would take the bottle immediately, but me, it's like he could smell that I had tits, so he was like looking at me, and then he'll eat the bottle, and he's like that baby's smart. But he got it now. Now he knows like the bottle's his bottle, and that's what he drinks from. He still kind of hints like, I want some milk. And I'm not even gonna lie, I like stuck my boob in his mouth like 2 days ago just to see if he would still latch. He's still latching, but my milk's almost dried up, so I'm like, boy, you ain't getting no more milk for me. But yeah, guys, so that's all. I just want to give you guys a quick update on my breastfeeding journey. That's all for today's video, you guys. Thank you guys all once again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time with the next video.